अपने भी हैं हो
सबसे महंगी है चलती रहती है रुकती नहीं दोस्ती
है तेरे लिए मेरे लिए सबके लिए दोस्ती दोस्ती
सबसे महंगी है चलती रहती है रुकती नहीं दोस्ती
है तेरे लिए मेरे लिए सबके लिए दोस्ती दोस्ती
तेरी मेरी ऐसी दोस्ती
ओ हर जगह ऐसी दोस्ती
तेरी मेरी ऐसी दोस्ती
ओ हर जगह वैसी
Hello, and welcome to Tracks from Abroad on CIUT 89.5 FM. My name is Seth Martosh, and I'm here with my co-host.
Alex Troxel.
We hope you're feeling nice and zen this Monday evening, and whether you're tuning in from Toronto, across the sea in Barcelona, or from the country that we're featuring today, we hope that you enjoy the show. Alex, tell us a little bit about what country we have on today's episode.
Well, today on Tracks from Abroad, we're going to Pakistan, which we've actually been to before, but it was in a different era of the Tracks
Right.
from Abroad radio show. This was when we had our previous host, Jesse McDougall. This was when our guest, who's actually the same guest, was a very different person, not a successful DJ like he is now.
Yeah, it's almost like a retrospective, or a... I
Yeah.
mean, is that the right word to use?
I have no idea, but I wouldn't have pointed it out.
Have you ever seen those interviews done like a year apart from each other? There's
No.
one with like Billie Eilish, and it's like every year they do the same interview and they ask her the same
Okay.
questions. I kind of feel like we did that for Razzak.
Is it the same answers that she gives?
No, of course not.
Oh, really?
You have to give
Okay.
different answers.
She's a changed person.
Yeah, you change every year. I would
Right.
hope you'd have new answers.
Right. And when we talked to Razzak, obviously, we had, I think, different questions, mainly
Definitely.
because our guest today, as I mentioned, has started a career, I guess, a side career.
Right.
It's difficult to tell.
It's hard to track all of the careers that Razzak does have.
Yeah.
We talked about how busy he gets. Even just scheduling the interview was, a lot of fun.
Possibly the most elusive guest we've ever had.
Yeah, but
when
it felt
comes
good finally to get him. It was
Yes.
like we finally, dug our hand in the sand and picked out the gem.
Yes, we called him. We're like, Razzak, here right now in the station. Let's get this interview
That's what
done.
you have to do. You have to be firm.
Yeah, basically. And he actually arrived a little late, and that's why we start this interview calling him out. So just to give that context, that's how our interview started. It took off from there, so I think it's a good one. Hopefully you enjoy. But without further ado, let's get to our interview with Razzak Noorani on Tracks from Abroad, CIUT 89.5 FM. I don't want to call you out here. You said you'd call yourself out being a little late here too.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry that I'm late, but it's for a good reason. I got the Pakkiwi chai finally. So in the last episode, I spent about 10 minutes just rambling about Pakkiwi chai and how it's made with elaichi. So today I actually brought some Pakkiwi chai for the both of you. So cheers to,
Cheers indeed.
to
Thank
having
you.
some Pakkiwi chai. Chai is one of Pakistan's best drinks. It's like our national drink. And yeah, I hope you guys like your chai. It's a gift from me to you both.
Thank you very much. For the tea connoisseurs out there, what's special about the Pakistani tea? Right?
Absolutely. So it's made with elaichi or cardamom, and it has natural Pakistani spices in it. It has a very unique taste, and you won't find anything like this in Toronto. Like, I've been trying to find the best Pakkiwi chai in Toronto, and I couldn't find it. So I went back home for the winter, and I bought these tea bags. Like, I bought the Pakkiwi chai tea bags, and that's how we're having this right now, because it's actually
Very nice.
from Karachi, Pakistan, these tea bags. They're
Right.
from Tapal Danedar, and it's a special company that makes tea unbelievable. Yeah,
Is that where you're from in Pakistan, Karachi?
absolutely. I'm from Karachi, Pakistan.
Could you tell us a bit more about the city?
Karachi is a coastal city. It's by the seaports. It's the center of all the trade that happens in Pakistan, and a lot of the importing, exporting goes on there. There's beaches. It is a very, very financial centered city, and it is the financial capital of Pakistan. but it's not the capital of Pakistan. Islamabad is the capital of Pakistan. Islamabad is a mountainous city filled with a beautiful terrain of like topography. That's how you get to the northern mountains of Pakistan, like Nathia Gali, Chitral. These places are some of the most beautiful places in the world, actually, and I invite you to search up pictures of them.
Yeah.
If you're on your way home or if you're driving, no, obviously not if you're driving. Don't use your phone if you're driving, but I highly encourage you to search up pictures of these beautiful mountains. They are phenomenal. Hunza, Gilgit, Chitral. I'm sure you've heard of the Karakoram mountain ranges.
Yeah, well, K2. K2 is a famous big mountain range, and you don't think of Pakistan as a mountainous sort of country because it's on the coast next to India. You don't really think as mountainous, but like the whole northern part is basically in the Himalayas, right?
Absolutely. Pakistan is home to some of the largest mountain ranges in the world.
Have you been to the mountainous areas?
We actually have a place in the northern mountains. My grandmother has like this apartment in the mountains in Bhurban, near Murray, and it's one of the most beautiful places. We go there every summer, or we try to go there every summer. My grandmother does, and we have the best time. We have a lot of chai when we're in the mountains,
Of course.
but it's one of the nicest places. The weather is phenomenal. You must come visit. I'm going to invite you both, definitely.
I'll definitely take you up on that offer. You know, you
Definitely.
said you were back there in the summertime. What are some of the other places you visited or things you got to do and see?
In Pakistan?
Yeah.
So we go to the beach quite a bit in the summer. There's this beautiful beach called French Beach. I love that beach. And apart from that, I feel like in the summer, it's very hot in Karachi. So a lot of people do go to the northern mountains. You visit places like Murray. You go on mountain trails. So I've been on mountain trails like Mukshpuri, Miranjani. These are some of the tallest mountains in the world, the mountain trails. They're very beautiful, scenic, and the beauty is just off the charts. Like, I know I've said this so many times, but when you see it, you're just going to be mesmerized. So yeah, I feel like that's a huge thing that we do. And apart from that, obviously, I just continue making music, doing my DJing, music production, and I spend time with family.
So can you tell us a little bit about getting into, you know, making music and your music production?
Absolutely. I started making music when I was 17 years old. And I think I was in the US. You know Santa Monica Pier?
Okay.
In LA. I won this voucher for Logic Pro. And I actually don't use Logic Pro. I use FL Studio 20. But that's when my whole interest sort of sparked. I'd always had these ideas. I've always been very creative, artistic. And I feel like everything just clicked when I started using FL Studio. I started making mashups. I started putting together ideas. I came up with this chart to sort of blend in keys. And all of a sudden, like, the mashup started doing very well. I think everything went crazy when my role model, Tiesto, picked up the mashup and played it on his radio show. And funny enough, I was in LA and then Las Vegas. I was with my grandmother. I was 17 years old. So I saw this huge building. I think it was the Wynn, or it was Caesar's Palace or something. And it had Tiesto's face on it. And I said, one day that guy's going to know who I am. And at that time, I had no idea how to make music.
Wow.
I had no idea about anything with regards to music production. And a year later, Tiesto had featured me on his radio show, so it was just so crazy.
So what got you interested in music? Because you said even before you were making music, you wanted to, you know, this DJ was your role model. So how did you get interested in DJing to begin with?
I feel like I've always been very interested in electronic dance music. I've always been very, very enthusiastic about melodies. I'm a very melodic person, and when I was young, I used to love drawing and art. So on FL Studio, they give you the option to draw melodies on the piano roll. So when I found that out, I was like, that is so cool, and I have to, you know, pursue this. So I started making melodies, I started making these mashups, and I feel like the idea of executing the things in your head and making them into reality, I just thought that was so surreal. So I started to make the mashups, and then once the mashups started doing well, I started to produce my own original music and made music for ads like Suzuki, McDonald's, and I'm not sure if you actually know this, but I made the ad for the Suzuki Cycles?
No, not by name.
Okay, so it's a big cycle company, and I made the music for the ad for them, and that's when I knew that, this could be a career for me.
On that note, you know, is there a specific song that you'd like to promote or share with us that we can listen to here?
I'd like to share my brand new song. It is with Matt Pridgeon. It just came out on Spotify, and it's absolutely crushing it. I'm so excited about this song. It's called Keep You Close. The vocalist is Thomas Maston. I actually went, and when I was opening for Brooks in Kingston, we performed it for the first time ever. The crowd went crazy, and I'm so excited. It's an exclusive CIUT. Listen.
There you go.
Check it out, everyone. I hope you enjoy this.
We'll have a listen. We'll be right back on Tracks Are Abroad, CIUT 89.5 FM.
I'm calling out across the way. I know you're not there when you hear my name. I fall in love with the thought in my head. Love the way you talk when you lie. Oh why, oh why, oh why? Can't take the look you have in your eyes. So high, so high, so high. It's time we take our bow, with nothing left to lose ourselves. But you know you won't you leave me now. We're falling out of love so fast. But you know I'll always keep you close. But you know I'll always keep you close. Every night you walk away, I start to hate the look in your eyes. Try to drink the pain away, but nothing that I do feels right. It feels right. Time we take our bow, with nothing left to lose ourselves. But you know you won't you leave me now. We're falling out of love so fast. But you know I'll always keep you close. But you know I'll always keep you close. Won't you leave me now? We're falling out of love so fast. But you know I'll always keep you close.
Welcome back to Tracks from Abroad on CIUT 89.5 FM. I'm Seth, and I'm with my co-host Alex. Today we're talking to Razzak from Pakistan. Razzak, I've seen on your Instagram you've been performing a lot at universities and different places around Southern Ontario and Canada. What's that been like, the university kind of scene?
Honestly, sometimes you'll go to an event, you'll be shocked at how crazy the energy is. Everyone there. So we went to Waterloo, actually. We traveled, we stayed in a hotel. They put us up in a hotel and everything. It was crazy. We literally, the entire Maxwell concert hall, which is a concert hall for 600 people, completely sold out, packed. And people were dancing from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. They just did not stop until the doors closed. And as a DJ, that's one of the nicest feelings ever, because having to pace a set that's from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. is not easy at all. I usually perform 2-hour sets or 1.5, 3, maybe maximum 3 hours. So this was a huge DJ set. I was very nervous. But then at the same time, I went to another show, but sometimes I get called to more corporate events sometimes. And I don't realize, because they portray it to me as if it's my type of thing, like a rave. I'm a progressive house music producer, which is known for you jump at the beat drop. That's sort of the energy of the song. And when you go to a corporate event and you play that kind of music, it's obviously, but I think 90% of the time, the university events are just unbelievable. The club events, amazing. Sometimes, obviously, you have to adapt, the energy of the crowd. And regardless, I have fun at every single event. I feel like the university events, most of them, the energy is just unbelievable. Crazy, yeah.
And you mentioned playing for 4 hours at Waterloo, was it?
Yeah.
You said, yeah. Is that difficult for you to keep up the energy for those 4 hours? Because you're at the front, like when we see your videos, you're
Yeah,
at the
you're
front,
always
like
bouncing.
hyping people up,
Yeah.
right? So is that something that, like, if the crowd's into it, then it's easy for you, or what's that like?
I definitely get so much energy from the crowd, but at the same time, in order to get energy, you have to give a lot of energy too.
Right, yeah.
I feel like because I'm standing there for 4 hours straight, jumping, going crazy, hyping up the crowd, I get exhausted. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I literally just go home and pass out. Like I'm so tired. And then in the morning, like I have class, I have an exam, then a show at night. So it's a really crazy, hectic lifestyle. But managing DJing and uni, yeah, man. Let's
Yeah.
not even talk about that.
Well, you're managing DJing, uni, and at the time also like being at the radio and coordinating people. Like, I mean, I wanted to ask you, like, again, we talked about the last time you were here with Jesse. It's been quite a while, and at that point, you weren't the volunteer coordinator at CIUT. You know, lots changed since then. So, what's your change in perception been like on the radio and being involved on campus?
When I was last on the show, there was 3 student programs at CIUT FM. Now I think there's 12 or
Wow.
or
Yeah.
something.
A bunch.
And there's going to be 20 by the end of it, like, because I've helped so many people create show proposals and got them involved. When I used to be at CIUT, there was no one there. It was basically like dead, you know, completely empty.
Yeah.
But now I feel like there's always something happening. There's a student going up there editing. There's groups coming in and a lot of podcasts happening, new radio shows. And I think there's a lot of changes, like with a fundraising drive coming up. And yeah, but I feel like the biggest change is that it feels more community-based and there's a bridge in the gap between the volunteers from, years ago and the new volunteers from now.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important. And just getting to work alongside so many people. Like, I remember the first time you both were here as well at the radio station. It's so cool getting to see someone get so heavily immersed in something like the way you two are now. You know, you're going along with your thing. But I saw it from the beginning. Well, I remember when you sent me an email and you're like, hey, I'd love to get involved. And now you're like doing your thing. It's so cool to see. And that's one of the most fulfilling parts of it, getting to see someone find a big part and purpose of their life. You know, it's so meaningful, and the work you guys are doing is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
thank you, first of all.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you. But do you think that was a good time to take a break, listen to another song?
Let's do it. So I actually wrote a song alongside one of my friends, someone I know from back home. This song is about the city, Karachi, where we're from, the city lights of Karachi, the feeling of when you're driving on empty roads and just jamming to music. We wanted to make an anthem, an EDM anthem that is super easy to just sing along to and at the same time vibe to. This is my song, which is completely unreleased. It's a CIUT exclusive, and I'm going to send it to you both. It's called Home. It's with Danyal Umar. And Danyal Umar is a vocalist from Karachi, Pakistan. I know him from back home. And we're so excited to bring this to you today. So this is a CIUT 89.5 FM exclusive. Razzak Noorani featuring Danyal Umar, Home. Check it out when it comes out, and I hope you enjoy.
City lights, I'm on my own. This feeling nice, you would never know. I feel alive, like this all the time. Empty roads, got me praying that I see you now. Oh, won't you let me in? You crossed my mind about 1,000 times. But we know that this love is unconditional. We're our friends, come and go, but we still believe in miracles. And we learn how to live with the scars of those that hurt us. We know that this love, yeah, it's found in a place that we call home. In a place that we call home. We know that this love walking alone. It's late at night. This feeling I have, you won't understand. Driving fast with the windows down, lost in thoughts, hope I don't drown. If you're not from here, can you see me now? But we know that this love is unconditional. You're our friend, come and go, but we still believe in miracles. And we learn how to live with the scars of those that hurt us. And we know that this love, yeah, is found in a place that we call home. In a place that we call home. In a place that we call home.
Hello and welcome back to Tracks from Abroad on CIUT 89.5 FM. Today we're talking to Razzak. Razzak, I wanted to ask you about, if you have any upcoming shows this summer. Now school's done, we got some time, or maybe you don't, I don't know about that. But, if you have any upcoming shows or things you're looking forward to in the next couple of months.
I have a show on May 12th, which is at U of T. And throughout the entire summer, I think we're actually hosting a release party event. It's for my song Addicted to You, which it's also unreleased and it's another CIUT exclusive. So stay tuned for that. And that's one of the biggest shows because I'm going to be headlining on that stage. It's my manager, his name is Jeff, and he's going to be the host of that whole event. We have a roster of DJs coming to perform, and we're looking at hosting it somewhere at some club in Toronto. So yeah.
And when you're making music, what's sort of the inspiration for your next song? Is it always like just something new, random, or is there something that you find frequently drives you to make music, like a good memory or something like that?
First, I didn't have much of an understanding of music theory and music knowledge, but as time has sort of progressed, I've really learned so much about how to implement music theory. So now I feel like I take inspiration from every single thing around me. So the sound of you just typing on your keyboard, I literally just thought of, I can use that in the verse of a song, like as a ticking sound. Like I use the sound of a clock. I actually recorded the TTC's, the doors closing sound, and I made a synthesizer using that. And I keep challenging myself with these random sounds that I hear from places and things and feelings that you get. And I think that that's such an important thing as a producer. We've seen people like Charlie Puth do that, and it's one of the most difficult things to do. But once you can do it and you understand how to sort of render the sound, use compressors, do the mixing, the mastering, adjusting the frequencies to the right threshold, I feel like that expands so many horizons for you and opens so many doors as a music producer. So I definitely get inspiration, and I come up with so many ideas. Like I sort of the Americano remix, which I think is at 13 million views right now, that I came up with on voice memos on my phone. I was just listening to some music, and I was like, this would sound cool with Heads Will Roll. And then I put it out there, and then all of a sudden, over 10 million people used it on TikTok, which was unbelievable, yeah.
I mean, on the other end of the spectrum, I'm interested to know how you also choose other musicians to work with, either like a vocalist or another producer. Like, what are you looking for in a collaborator?
The most important thing is it's not about how good they can sing or how well they can play an instrument. Of course, that helps, but the most important thing is just being kind and being genuine and being willing to grow and learn. And for me, I'm always willing to learn and grow. I never think that, I know too much or anything. I don't know how to play an instrument. I just learned a lot about music theory and learned how to use FL Studio, and I was DJing for quite a bit when I was younger. So because of that sort of knowledge of like how the whole system works on FL Studio, I sort of got into it as a music producer. And I feel like anyone can make music. It doesn't matter who you are, how much you know. You should just be able to express yourself no matter what, and I think that's such an important thing.
Yeah.
The same way anyone can start a radio show or a podcast, same goes for music. It's just about if someone really loves what they do, if they're passionate, and if they're just honest. Sometimes people, they have egos in the industry, and I think that's not a good thing. Ego I think it's the enemy, when you think you're too good to collaborate with others. I find that when I go and talk to people who just love music, even if they have no goal of getting on a song, if they have no goal of making music even, but just listening to how they compose their music, like violinists. I went to the orchestra with one of Isabella's friends actually, and I recorded like them playing the orchestra, and I used like the sounds in one of my new songs, like the sound of the trumpets, the flutes, the violins, brass, drums. So I feel like music is so universal and it's so open to interpretation, and I just love working with anyone who loves what they do. At the same time, I've worked with artists who care a lot about views and social media and all of that, but I think at the end of the day, I'm sure you guys have dealt with this as well, where you see people care a lot about views, numbers. At the beginning, I remember I used to get like 100 views a song, and I worked with one artist, and they were just like, oh, sorry, I don't want to keep this song up, we'll delete it. And funny enough, I had my Americano remix out, it had 300 views for a month. And then, the next month, someone used it in a TikTok, and now it has over 10 million views. So it's about putting your stuff out there, not caring about the numbers, not caring about likes or any of this stuff, and just being completely genuine and raw and really enjoying the process and doing it for yourself rather than seeking validation from someone else. So I feel like these are such important things for when you collaborate with someone. Do they just love music, or are they just doing it for clout or fame? And these small things are very important, because you're really going to enjoy working with someone who loves what they do and are passionate about what they do. Yeah.
No, I think you're totally right, and I feel like the more artists and people that we've talked to, it's pretty clear there's like a bit of a dilemma for a lot of people, because on one hand they obviously want to just do it for the music and for the passion and the love, and then on the other hand there's like if they really want to do it full time, they kind of need to in some case like care about the views or like the money or the whatever it is. And I find it's interesting to hear people's take on like that fine line between when do you do it for yourself and when do you kind of cater to the audience or the people that are really going to support you.
I find that the more that you do it out of love and the more you enjoy doing something, the more the money will follow later on.
Yeah.
That's something so important to realize that a lot of people don't realize, because when you chase money, the money actually runs away. But when you chase your happiness and when you chase doing what you love, the money follows.
Yeah. It's like, I think you hear so much about musicians who are like, I made my first song like while I was working my job at like some retail place. So I was doing, when I started, I was doing like 3 different jobs. And you very rarely hear people like, I did my first hit when I was like a full-time musician trying to get by. It's like, it's so much more difficult to, I guess, just write music that you care about, that you're passionate about when you're like, oh my goodness, this is my job, I hope I make enough to live off of.
Exactly. I feel like it's about actually embracing failure and learning from that and just not giving up. It's such an important thing.
Is there one more song that you'd like to play for us that maybe inspired you along your journey?
Absolutely. I made this song, it's been a year since I've made it, and I'm so excited to release this. I've been in talks with record labels, some really big record labels, some of the biggest record labels in the world, actually. But despite all of that and the talks, I think the song has taught me a lot about life and just in general. I think this, I have a very good feeling about this song. I love this song so much, and this is the first time in the world that anyone is going to be listening to this. It's called Addicted to You, and it's my own single. It's an exclusive on CIUT 89.5 FM. I hope you love this song as much as I do. It means the world to me, and I hope you enjoy.
We'll take a listen. We'll be back on Tracks Are Abroad, CIUT 89.5 FM.
You've been going down too easy. Now you're the only thing that's on my mind. With an aftertaste so pleasing, I feel it. The high that you give me. Now I think that I'm losing myself. I'm trying you. Think I'm addicted to you. Yes, I'm addicted to you. Swore I'd never be, but I'm addicted to you. Think I'm addicted to you. Yes, I'm addicted to you. I count 1, 2, 3, and I'm begging on my knees. I'm addicted to you. Addicted to you. Count 1, 2, 3, and I'm begging on my knees. I'm addicted to you. Addicted to you. Every morning feels like going. Think I had a little bit too much. Everything you do's controlling. I'm folding. The high that you give me. Now I think that I'm losing myself. I'm trying to leave it. Oh, I know that I'm needing some help. Swore I'd never be, but I'm addicted to you. Think I'm addicted to you. Yes, I'm addicted to you. Swore I'd never be, but I'm addicted to you. Think I'm addicted to you. Yes, I'm addicted to you. Oh, count 1, 2, 3, and I'm begging on my knees. I'm addicted to you. Addicted to you. Count 1, 2, 3, and I'm begging on my knees. I'm addicted to you. Addicted to you.
Hello and welcome back to Tracks from Abroad on CIUT 89.5 FM. I'm Alex. With Seth, we're talking to Razzak from Pakistan today. Razzak, you mentioned how you're looking to incorporate more Pakistani music into your music. What are your inspirations and what are the traditional Pakistani sounds that you're trying to incorporate?
I want to make something that no one has ever heard. I want to do something unique. You know, I love so much Pakistani music, but I want to create my own unique genre and my own spin on that. So what I do is I take sounds from original instruments. My new song, Keep You Close with Matt Bridgen, actually uses a tabla sample. And I made a melody out of that tabla / sitar. I also used a sitar. And these are Desi, Pakistani, South Asian instruments. And so we added our own spin on it, and we made a progressive house EDM anthem that people can dance to on the dance floors. And so it's sort of bridging gaps that no one would ever expect. You know, you don't expect the sitar and the tabla to be used in big EDM anthems, but that's something that I really want to do and incorporate in my sound.
What are people's reactions to hearing, like, you know, traditional world music instruments in house music? Are they kind of like taken back at first? Or?
Do they even know is the question.
Yeah, do they even know?
You know, I feel like at first they're a bit puzzled, but then when they hear the beat with it, like the drums and the way it sort of blends in with everything. And the thing is, we made a mashup with Icona Pop.
Okay.
Icona Pop's song, I Love It. And so everyone just started singing along with us from the get-go. And I think that made me instantly realize, like, you know, this could be a big song. It could be a hit. And so Matt Bridgen and I, we had actually met for the first time. I traveled to Kingston in a snowstorm right after my exam, actually. And then we met for the first time. We finished the song in 2 hours. Then 2 hours later, we performed the song. And it was a very daunting experience, but it showed me that you can really incorporate these sounds and make it into something generic and something big. So I'm really excited about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have started with this, but you've been making music since you're 17, right?
Yeah.
So how old are you now? Or how long have you been playing music?
I'm 22 right now.
22.
So,
Okay. So
yeah.
5 years in the business, and where do you see yourself going in the next couple years?
You know, I want to continue doing what I'm doing. I love doing what I do. Making something meaningful and that can actually bring joy to someone in some way, that's one of the biggest goals with what I do. I want to continue to work on my own music for other people as well. I want to create advertisements with music, work in marketing, and hopefully continue to just, create some EDM bangers and go into other genres as well. But a huge place that I see myself going to is, I think that just continuing with the shows, increasing the volume, and, you know, you never know what can happen, yeah.
Well, we'll keep a tab on your career, obviously, as a CIUT prodigy. So maybe to close it out, we could play the song that you recommended.
This is a song that I wrote in CIUT completely. It's a CIUT song. I met up with the vocalist in our podcasting studio, and we literally recorded the vocals on our podcasting studio.
Oh, wow.
The song is Tell Me. It's called Tell Me, and it's an original song. A lot of the ideas I came up with actually in the studio at CIUT FM. So I hope you enjoyed this.
We will enjoy it, and we want to thank you one more time for coming on the show, for hydrating us, as very few of our guests
I
do.
hope
Thank
you love the chai.
Thank you for the tea. And yeah, thanks again for talking to us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I've loved this. So thank you for everything. Yeah.
This has been Tracks from Abroad on CIUT 89.5 FM.
It feels like time is slowing down right now. These thoughts of you are getting loud, so loud. I thought that it was perfect, but it wasn't fine. Oh, how did I deserve this? I did everything right. I'm still so lonely in a crowd without. Well, tell me where you gone, 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 where you gone, gone. Now that I need you, now that I need you. Well, tell me where you gone, 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 where you gone, gone. Now that I need you, now that I need you. Well, tell me where you gone, 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 gone. Well, tell me where you gone, 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 gone. Now that I need you. It's colder ever since you left, and now I'm sleepless, I'm trapped inside my head, I thought that it was perfect, but it wasn't fine. Oh, how did I deserve this? I did everything right. Hold on to what I could have said. I'm a mess. Well, tell me where you gone, 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 where you gone, gone. Now that I need you, now that I need you. Well, tell me where you gone, 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 where you gone, gone. Now that I need you, now that I need you. Well, tell me where you gone, 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 where you gone, gone. Now that I need you, now that I need you. Well, tell me where you gone, 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 where you gone, gone. Now that I need you, now that I need you. Well, tell me where you've gone, 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 gone. Well, tell me where you've gone, 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 gone. Now that I need you.
Welcome back to Tracks from Abroad on CIUT 89.5 FM. You just heard our interview with Razzak Noorani from Pakistan and also from CIUT in his role as volunteer coordinator. I was quite interested to hear about just kind of the life of a DJ, like the DJ life, you know, 4 hours at a time, sometimes doing a set. And in terms of, you know, how you build that set, you know, you build it up just like the song. You know, you make the song, you kind of have the beginning and the climax and a kind of come down. But, you know, to be playing for 4 hours is a long time. Like, you kind of gotta pick the songs carefully. So it was interesting to hear.
And Razzak definitely has he has great energy. He has
Yeah.
great self-promo skills, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
He's got some great videos of us doing our interview in the room where we record.
Yeah. He can
And-
definitely teach us a couple of things, I think.
About self-promo, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we don't do enough, but he's always been very good. He's, let's get this video, let's get this.
Yep.
I got to share the process.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come out real good.
Exactly. And it's also great to have just another Canadian musician on the show because, as you may know, we have to play a certain level of Canadian artists on the
Right.
show. And so having a Canadian artist as our interview subject is great, of course. But we actually, when we were looking into music to play for our show for Pakistan today, we found a lot of Canadian-Pakistani collaborations just naturally when it comes to just looking into popular Pakistani music. So, for instance, right now, we're speaking over a collaboration between a prominent religious singer in Pakistan and a Canadian ambient artist that were actually put in contact by Peter Gabriel when he founded his record company, Real World Records. And there's another one that we're going to be listening to that's also a Pakistani-Canadian artist, right?
Yeah, we have a very popular Pakistani-Canadian band called Josh, or maybe Josh. I'm not sure, to be honest, how to pronounce it. They're from Montreal. They've been performing since the 90s. So we'll hear that, the song after next. And then we'll be back with some more songs on Tracks from Abroad.
क्या राज फितना है रुखे हुस्नो जमाल में हंगामा हो गया है जहाने मिसाल में क्या राज फितना है रुखे हुस्नो जमाल में हंगामा हो गया है जहाने मिसाल में ये है फनाए इश्क जो परवाना जल गया ये है फनाए इश्क जो परवाना जल गया क्या रमज है चराग के इस इश्तियाल में क्या राज फितना है रुखे हुस्नो जमाल में हंगामा हो गया है जहाने मिसाल में क्या राज फितना है रुखे हुस्नो जमाल में क्या राज फितना है रुखे हुस्नो जमाल में जो भी मिले प्यार नाल मिला ही नफरत दिल चों दूर करके जेका मैं आवे जान मेरी ओदे ताहता उत देदा जान तड़के इंसानी रिश्ता निभावा मैं गहरा नु अपना बनावा मैं इंसानी रिश्ता निभावा मैं गहरा नु अपना बनावा माही वे अर्ज करा मैनू भी असमानी फितरत दे बड़ा में होके भी चुके अरमान डोला वे हिम्मत दे माही वे अर्ज करा मैनू भी असमानी फितरत दे बड़ा में होके भी चुके अरमान डोला वे हिम्मत दे हो जो भी देवे लाख सर मथे मैं जिंद जावे सारी जिंदगानी हाय मैं तेरी रज़ा दे विच होया राज़ी तेरी मेहरबानी किसी दा भी हक मैं ना खावां अपनी राह चल जावां किसी दा भी हक मैं ना खावां अपनी राह चल जावां माही वे अर्ज करा मैनू भी असमानी फितरत दे बड़ा में होके भी चुके अरमान डोला वे हिम्मत दे माही वे अर्ज करा मैनू भी असमानी फितरत दे बड़ा में होके भी चुके अरमान डोला वे हिम्मत दे अर्ज करा मैनू भी असमानी फितरत दे बड़ा में होके भी चुके अरमान डोला वे हिम्मत दे माही वे अर्ज करा मैनू भी असमानी फितरत दे बड़ा में होके भी चुके अरमान डोला वे हिम्मत दे अर्ज करा मैनू भी असमानी फितरत दे बड़ा में होके भी चुके अरमान डोला वे हिम्मत दे माही वे अर्ज करा मैनू भी असमानी फितरत दे बड़ा में होके भी चुके अरमान डोला वे हिम्मत दे हाय डोला वे ओ माही वे
Hello, and welcome back to Tracks from Abroad on CIUT 89.5 FM. Hopefully you've enjoyed our journey through Pakistan today via CIUT, via Toronto, with Razzak Noorani's house music. And when it comes to what we're doing next week, it's going to be an episode on Germany.
Right.
We're actually planned out far in advance now, which we haven't been over the last few weeks, which is why we can give you this information. And maybe after
Yeah.
that, it's even going to be an episode on Belize.
Right.
That, Seth, do you want to tell us about the pains that you went through to...
I wouldn't say they were pains. It was more like pleasures. No, I was just recently in Belize on a little, on a little vacation with my family, which was wonderful, and went out there, got some good interviews, got to listen to some Garifuna drumming, which, I don't want to give too much away. We'll hear more in a couple weeks, but
Absolutely.
we just wanted to thank Razzak for coming on and speaking with us, as well as the team here at Tracks from Abroad. We have Board Tech Matthew in the studio, as well as co-director Elżbieta in the studio for one of the first times. So thank you to her and Rosa, our other co-director. Thank you to Simon for editing and making us sound so smooth on the radio. And our... that was good.
That was good, yeah.
And our other social media managers, Akshita and Isabella.
Yeah. No, it's just every time you mention Simon making us sound good, I just get a flashback to all the goofy things that get said and completely taken out. So like last week we were running a little short on time on the program, so I didn't mention it. But in our interview with Tinley from Tibet. There was a great moment when he was like, "Yeah, every Wednesday is actually like our holy day. It's a very important day to us." And I was like, "Wait, like today?" And it was Tuesday. So that was very slyly cut out by Simon, which I appreciate so very much.
Yeah, he's like an underrated hero. I mean, not underrated, just
Yeah,
like
just
perfectly
appropriately rated
yeah.
hero. Yeah, and that's going to be it from us today on Tracks from Abroad. As always, next up is going to be Indigenous Waves on CIUT 89.5 FM.
Make me want to sing about love every time I raise my head. You make me want to tell the whole world what I've found is good. Then they say slow, slow this ride down. Don't burn it out, don't let it show. Slow, oh, but my heart is racing to hold your gaze and let it go. My love, my love, my love, killing time is easy when you're here. From dreams I've seen you before. You're so familiar, you're so familiar. And everywhere I go, hear me calling for your love. 'Cause if it's you, I will disarm you. And if it's you, do you know how to calm me down? Oh, let me sleep in your arms, then I won't hear them singing. Slow, slow this ride down. Don't burn it out, don't let it show. Slow, oh, but my heart is racing to hold your gaze and let it go. You make me want to sing about love, even though you don't wanna know. You make me want to tell the whole world, but I know you don't like it. You don't like it. You don't like it. Slow, slow this ride down. You're so familiar. Slow this ride.